Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to Studio B and to your 30-minute flow-based practice. We're going to be talking about the concept of being boldly balanced today. And I think it's a really nice time for us to think about. We're often all juggling a lot of things at once, whether it's, work life with personal life, whether it's, cooking, cleaning, and work, whether it's balancing different emotions that are showing up. Sometimes it's gratitude, sometimes it's grief, sometimes they're both there at the same time. And so what does it mean to kind of show up and balance those things? And recognizing, as we'll see today in the physical practice, that balance is not one fixed point. That balance is something that's constantly fluid and evolving. And so it really demands of us that we be connected with our present moment experience to constantly see how that balance is shifting. So let's start in a comfortable seat. I'm going to be in hero's pose to begin the practice today, sitting hips to heels. If that's not comfortable for you, please feel free to take a different form of a seat. And let's start to move through some seated cat and cow. So inhale, lifting the head and the heart, and then exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest. And just flowing back and forth at your own pace. So depending on if you've already moved a bit today, you might find that you need to move faster or slower. But just using these opening cat and cows as a way to sort of get acquainted with the body. We'll do about 2 to 3 more of these. And just allowing the practice to welcome in kind of whatever's showing up, knowing there's no expectations here. We're just showing up and being present with everything as it arises. And then let's come back up to a neutral spine, feeling of the spine tall and erect, and reach your arms up, maybe imagining a clock face, reach them up to 12 o'clock. Take a nice full inhale here, and then open out to that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then bend the elbows like goddess arms. We'll do that twice more. Inhale up to 12, then you open 1, 2, 3, bend to goddess. One more time, reach up. And we'll do this later in the practice in a different position. So this is a way just to build that muscular awareness. Pause here in goddess. Now flip the arms so the palms face behind you. Reach them down to 6 o'clock, 5, 4, palms are facing away from you, 3, and then that reverse goddess. 2 more times like that. Reach down, out, up, up, swing it in. Last time, reach down, out, out. You're at that 3 o'clock. Bend. Flip them up to the goddess arms. Reach up, lengthen through the sides of the body, and we're going to find our first down dog. So hands forward, walking the feet back, lifting the seat. And for me, anytime I first come into a down dog, there's a little conversation that needs to happen with the body, kind of checking in. Usually there's some movement that needs to happen through the pelvis and the legs. So let that come in really naturally. And then we're going to play with balance here straight away. So take your feet and walk them forward about 1 full foot's length. So you're shortening your down dog stance. Shift your weight into your left hand and start to reach your right hand back towards your right foot. Stay up on the fingertips of your right hand. And then you could play maybe coming onto the ball of the left foot, shifting the balance there. Maybe hovering the left foot just off the mat, or maybe reaching it up to the ceiling in this down dog balance. And notice that in this position, your mind just became immediately focused and concentrated on maintaining the balance. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Give yourself 1 more full inhale. Wherever you are is a good place to be. And then lower the left foot down. Bring your right hand forward. And just pause here for a moment. Take a breath. Notice how the body's responding, how the mind is responding to that. And then we'll switch sides. So the weight shifts into the right palm. Left hand starts to reach back towards the left foot. You stay up on the pads of the fingers. Shift the weight into the left foot and maybe just experiment popping up onto the ball of the right foot. Maybe you start to just hover the right foot, see how the balance is there. Or if you're feeling pretty confident, start to sweep the right leg up and keep the breath full. 3.
Again, noticing how balance immediately brings you into place of focused awareness. One more full breath. And then lower the right foot down, not too rushed, with control. Left hand forward, and let's walk the feet to the front of the mat, finding our first Uttanasana. And when you get to your Uttanasana, start to rock forward and back on the feet. So rising up high on the balls of the feet, and then rocking back to the heels and lifting the toes and the soles of the feet. Just shifting the weight forward and back. And I notice when I come onto the balls of the feet, I feel my calves kind of contract. And when I rock to the heels, I feel a nice stretch in the Achilles. Maybe a couple more times there, noticing how the balance is shifting forward and back. And then let the feet settle onto the mat. I'm doing this if this is at all confusing with my cueing. Start to shift the weight from side to side and see if you can pick up one foot at a time. So we're not really swinging the legs out. We're just letting the pelvis kind of shift and lift to pick up a foot. And then the next time that you're standing on your right foot and your left foot has hovered, pause there, noticing, okay, this is a little awkward. Where's the balance in this moment? Maybe bring your right hand to your right ankle. Possibly bring your left hand to your right ankle as well. What I love about this is that my sense of touch on my right ankle is giving me so much feedback about how much my body is responding to maintaining the balance in the moment. And then lower the left foot down. Just take a couple of rocks from side to side, picking up one foot and then the other. And then we'll do that balance work on the second side. So left foot down, right foot is hovering. You could keep the hands on the mat. That's already enough. Or if you'd like to explore, left hand to left ankle, maybe the right hand to the right ankle. And just witnessing the body, maybe with a sense of awe, like, gosh, you're doing so much work to maintain balance. Well done, body. And then bringing the hands back down, lower the right foot. Bring the fingertips to the shins, lift up to a nice elongated tabletop half lift. And then exhale, fold in. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, just a nice half lift, bringing the breath in, long spine, and fold in. Last time, just like that, half lift. Now pause here for a moment. Reach those arms nice and wide, like a wingspan. Start to bend your knees, dropping into chair pose, Utkatasana. Sweep the arms forward, lifting the torso away from the thighs to find the chair pose. Feeling really connected through your 2 feet, feeling balanced and stable. Knowing you could stay right here, or if you wanted to challenge the balance, lift the heels, rising onto the balls of the feet. Shaky, shaky, totally normal. And then staying on the balls of the feet, if you're there, start to rise up into Prapadasana tiptoe pose. Again, remembering that balance isn't a fixed point. Balance is a relationship of the body where it is in space, moment by moment. Slowly lower the heels down to the mat. Let the arms lower alongside you. We're going to move into 3 Surya Namaskaram sun salutations today. So let's take a nice full inhale, standing tall. Exhale, bring the palms together, position 1. Inhale, reaching forward, up and back is position 2. And then folding over the legs, position 3. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Now peek back at your left foot. I want us to have railroad track stance here. So I'm actually going to hop my left foot out a little bit wider to begin, and then lower the left knee down and sweep the hands up towards the ceiling. So what I've done here with the railroad track stance is I've allowed myself to take up a little bit broader base, a broader foundation. And allow yourself to notice, okay, how is it finding the balance with this broader foundation? Staying right here, or tuck the back toes and lift the left knee for 2 breaths. So again, you could stay down low or you could choose to elevate. One more inhale here. And then wherever you are, hands down, step it back, downward facing dog. Give yourself a nice full inhale here. We'll move through knees, chest, and chin, Ashtangasana. Knees lower softly, chest between the thumbs, chin out front. And then slithering onto the belly, lifting up to a cobra. And rising up and back, downward facing. Full inhalation here. And then I'm going to take a kind of a softer transition as I lower my knees. I'm going to move my left thumb to my right thumb, step my left foot forward, and then I already have that railroad track stance. Sweep the arms up and settle in. Noticing, is it easy to access the balance with this broad foundation, or is it still a challenge? Option to tuck the back toes and lift that back knee. And noticing that part of being balanced too is balancing the effort with the ease, the engagement with the softening. And then the hands come down to the mat. Big step forward, right foot meets the left, fold in, nose to the shins. And then circle sweep the arms out and all the way up, maybe a little back bend at the top. And palms together. 2 more rounds of sun salutations. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Keeping it moving, fluid with the breath, folding over the legs. We'll start with the right foot back this time. And then this time I want us to create a tightrope stance. So as you look back at the right toes, line them up directly behind your left heel. And then lower the knee down and sweep back up into your lunge. And you'll notice the balance, that point of balance has moved. It's shifted. So it's going to demand a different kind of relationship with the body in this tightrope stance. Option to tuck the toes and lift that back knee for 2. And one more inhale. And then hands come down. You're probably going to need to widen the right foot a little bit to step back to downward facing dog. You could move through knees, chest, and chin, or if you're feeling ready, shift forward to plank. Lower through the half push-up chaturanga, elbows squeezing the sides of the ribs. Rolling over the toes to upward facing dog. And back to downward facing dog. Give yourself your inhalation here. The breath is the true measurement of the practice. And then looking forward, the right foot will step forward. Now I'm going to take my time peeking. I might need to hop my left foot in a little bit to get that tightrope stance, and then lower the left knee and sweep the arms up. And I often find that even one side of my body struggles a little bit more to access balance than the other. Let's tuck the back toes as an option to lift the back knee and seeing how the balance responds there. And then hands come down, stepping left foot forward alongside the right, folding in, opening those ears, listening carefully here. Let's lift up to tabletop. You've done this before. Take the wingspan out wide. Bend the knees, drop the hips, sweep the arms forward, find your chair. You could keep the soles of the feet planted or testing the balance to rise to the balls of the feet. And then staying on the balls of the feet as you rise up to Prapadasana tiptoe pose. Staying in relationship with the body as the balance constantly evolves. Lower the heels down. Take a little mild back bend here at the top. And then seal out that second round, palms together in heart center. One more round of sun salutations. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, forward, up and back. Maybe the spine feeling a little more receptive to the back bend, fold forward. We'll take the left foot to the back of the mat, and this time we're going to crisscross. So I'm going to wiggle my right foot slightly towards my left hand, and I'm going to hop my left foot over to the right side of the mat. So the legs are crossed. Lower the left knee and sweep the arms up. And like, whoo, the balance is really in a different place here. Noticing, letting the body adjust to the moment. And then there's that option to rise if that feels of service to you. And maybe even acknowledging this feels weird. That's okay. Now lower the hands, again, listening up here. We're going to step back into a crisscross down dog. So the right thigh is going to be crossed over the left. We'll keep the feet crossed as we shift forward to plank. We're going to do that twice more. Shift up and back to down dog. Just gliding back and forth to that crisscross plank and the crisscross down dog. One more time. Try to press equally through the palms. Pause here in the plank. No chaturanga. Let the pelvis start to drop. Pull the heart through the upper arms, finding a little bit of a back bend here. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Float your left leg up, three-legged dog. Your right foot does not need to move. Your left foot is going to step towards your right hand. Crisscrossing that lunge on the second side. Lower the right knee down. Rise up. Crisscross Anjaneyasana. Maybe the brain is feeling a little crisscrossed. That's okay. Settle the brain by keeping the breath smooth and even. Maybe tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee for 2. One more inhale. Hands down, listening up. Step your right foot forward, but you're still crisscross. Left thigh is over right. Inhale there. We're going to rise into eagle pose. So start to bend the knees, drop the hips. Your left thigh's already crossed over the right. Start to lift the torso. Now you could keep the kickstand of the left toes down. You could also wrap the foot if you like. And then we're going to take a right arm. Either give yourself a hug or wrap the forearms. 2. One more breath here. And then lower the left foot back down. Release the arms out and up. Legs are still crossed. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Left thigh still over right. Trust your body. You're going to walk your hands to your right to face the back of your mat. Your feet will naturally unwind and you'll find yourself in an Uttanasana facing the back of your mat. Clasp hold of opposite elbows and dangle for a few breaths. I find myself naturally swaying a bit here, letting the balance shift from one foot into the other. And then release opposite elbows. We'll do that eagle on the second side. So you're going to walk the hands to the right. The feet will naturally cross again with the right thigh over the left. Then we'll start to bend the knees, building that Garudasana eagle from the ground up, lifting the torso. Now you could keep the kickstand of the right toes down, or you could wrap them behind the left calf. Arms come out, left arm underneath right. Either give yourself a hug here, or wrapping the forearms, palms together. Enjoying the focus that arises from being in relationship with balance. And then we'll unravel it all, arms and legs, reach up, stand up, maybe a little back bend at the top, and bring the palms of the hands together. take a moment, lengthen the arms alongside the body, maybe close the eyes. A little 10-second micro meditation to notice how the body is responding, checking in with the state of the mind. And then I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to do one more standing balancing pose as we work with tree pose, Vrikshasana. And we're going to do a couple of different add-ons to work with there. So we'll start with the trunk of the tree being the left leg. Right foot can come up against the ankle, the calf, or please bypass the knee if you're going to come up into the thigh. And we'll begin by having the hands on the hips today, a little bit different. And taking these first few breaths just to kind of access the balance wherever it is right now. And then really focusing the eyes on something that's not going to move. We're going to remove part of our sight by lifting the right hand and just gently placing the right palm over the right eye. And noticing any adjustments that happen when you remove part of your access to sight. And then without rushing, take your time slowly lowering that right hand back to the waist. And we're going to start to move the head vertically. These could be very micro movements, lifting the chin a few inches up and then dropping the chin a few inches down. So you're still balancing in your tree pose, but introducing the micro movement of the head up and down. Boldly balancing in the midst of transition. And then let the eyes come back straight ahead. So well done. And with control, release that right foot down. And you might need to kind of shift the weight a little bit from side to side, or even shake the standing leg out a bit before we go to the other side. And then let's build that tree on the second side. So the right leg is going to be the trunk. Left foot is going to be up against ankle, calf, or thigh. And we begin by just finding hands on hips, letting the eyes settle on something that's not moving. And with a sense of curiosity, noticing where is the balance now. And then as you're ready, you'll take your left hand, not overly rushing this, and slowly covering the left eye with the left palm. And then letting the left hand lower. And this time we'll move the head horizontally. So taking the chin a few inches to the right and to the left. And observing how intelligent the body is. Recalibrating your sense of balance, second by second. And then the head comes back to center. That's difficult stuff. Very well done. Controlling your descent, left leg down, shaking it out. And we're going to do one back bend. So we're going to come onto the belly, please. So lying down on the abdomen. And we're going to work with Shalabhasana, and we're going to bring in those clock arms that we did in the warm-up. So forehead to the mat, legs are together, reach the arms forward, palms are facing down to the floor. As you inhale, lift everything up, legs, arms, head. Arms are at 12 o'clock, then open to 1, 2, 3. Bend the elbows for goddess. Twice more. 12. 1, 2, 3. Goddess. 12. 1, 2, 3. Goddess. Keep the goddess arms. Lift the forearms to the ceiling. 3. 2. Bring the palms under the shoulders. Press up to all fours. If you need a cat and cow or two here, sometimes that just feels like a really natural need of the body. And then we're going to play with Utthita Dhanurasana. Walk the palms of the hands forward 1 palm's length and melt the forearms to the mat. Tuck your right toes, extend your right leg, and lift the right leg up parallel to the floor. Now this is already a balance, so know that you can stop any stage along the way, or you can shift the weight to the left forearm, bend your right knee, and switch the weight to the right forearm, and then experiment with sweeping the left hand around, so opposite hand to foot. And then maybe find that bind and press the toes to the ceiling. So we typically do this pose up on the palm, and it's actually more challenging to do it here on the forearm. 2. And then without slinging the arrow, gently release. Forearm back down, right knee down, and sit back for about 2 breaths in child's pose. And then as you inhale, shifting forward onto the belly, returning into the locust with the reverse of those clock arms. So the arms come alongside you as if they were pointing back to the 6 o'clock. Lifting the head, the legs, the arms. Inhale, you're at 6, 5, 4, out to 3. And then you bend those elbows, palms are facing the ceiling. Reach back to 6, 5, 4, 3. Bend the elbows, so good for nourishing that shoulder rotation. Reach back, 5, 4. My whole back of the body is on fire. 1 more breath here. Flip those palms. Place them under your shoulders. Shift back to all fours. Give yourself a cat or a cow if that feels necessary. Certainly does for my spine. And then we'll do that second side, melting the forearms down. This time I'm going to take my left toes, and extend my left leg back, lift it up parallel to the floor. Shift my body weight into my left forearm as I bend my left knee. And sweep opposite hand, so right hand to left foot, finding the bind perhaps, and then pressing the foot into the hand for the balance. Maybe bringing the gaze slightly out in front of the fingertips, 2. And then knowing that the transition is part of the practice, releasing out, lower the hand and the knee. Shift back to child's. And we'll take about 1 minute for Shavasana here. Shifting forward, you can either lie on the belly if that feels more natural, or on the back. Extending the arms and the legs. Knowing that so much of the balance in our practice is a balance of effort and ease. And so giving yourself permission to rest in this easeful part of the practice. On your next breath, allow the breath to slightly deepen. Maybe just take the thumbs and gently rub against each of the pads of the fingers, wiggling the toes. And then in your own way, in your own time, rising back up to a comfortable seat. And knowing that we're about to transition out of the formal practice back into whatever the rest of your day holds. So maybe closing the eyes and sitting, honoring this time of transition. Remembering that the practice isn't something that just lives on the mat. This practice of being in relationship with balance is something that we take with us into every moment of our lives. Maybe just for about 30 seconds here, noticing the two parts of the breath, the inhale and the exhale, and how it is that balance that keeps you alive. We'll bring the palms of the hands together, a gesture of balance itself. And I'll close just with a peace chant today. You can absorb this peaceful vibration. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Jai Shri Sakuru Maharaj Ki Jai.